Hey everyone, we're back and we have a brand spanking new webcam to share with you. This is the EMEET PIXY. Right now, you're actually seeing me on the Pixie, and we're using just a wireless mic because we have renovations going on in the house. That's why the background's all different. This is my wife's office space. She was kind enough to let me set up in here for the day so I can actually get this review to you and tell you a little bit more about the EMEET PIXY. This camera is amazing. Not only is it 4K 30, but you can also record / stream in 1080 60. So if you're looking for options, this is a great camera for you. And it actually has two, not one, but two cameras to help with focus and clarity for your live streams or video recordings. But before we jump into the review, I want to thank EMEET for sending over the Pixie for review. This is my favorite webcam I've ever owned. It's awesome. As you can see, it's very clear and it just works great. So thank you, EMEET, for sending this over. Very appreciative of you for this product as well as all the ones that you send over in the past. So without further ado, let's jump into the unboxing. Time for the unboxing. Here it is, EMEET PIXY. Nothing fancy, just a nice little packing box. On the back, you got a tab. You have two stickers here, so I have something nice and sharp to cut it. I cut it in advance just so we could get into this. Haven't seen what's inside yet, so I'm with you. All right, so here we are. Quick start guide. So we have 3 QR codes for your download, fax, and a instructional video. And then you can also get to their website and look at all their awesome products. These guys are great. I've been working with them for a little bit now, and I've covered a few other products. Everything I've tested, reviewed, and tried, I still use today. So, if that's worth anything. Let me guess. More manuals and USB. What we got? Okay, here, one second. What do we got? Warranty. So this is your warranty slip. You can almost like start to tell that it's warranty just because of how thin they are and the type of paper they use, or like how thin the paper is. Multi-language, awesome. USB-A-C, USB-C to USB-C cable with a USB-A adapter. Awesome, thank you, EMEET. That is handy. I love that companies are doing this now. It makes it way more handy, especially if you don't want to go out and buy more USB-C or USB-A to C cables. Finally, for the books, we got the actual manual, I'm guessing. Yep. Here's your manual, how to set it up. If you're not too sure, take a look at this, refer to this, use this. It'll help you. And here it is, the Pixie. This thing is tiny. I thought this was going to be way bigger for some reason. I don't know why. Got some floof on there. But yeah, this is it. Look how tiny this thing is. That's great. That's awesome. Try to get the lighting. My lighting's not the best here. We're going through renovations. I apologize. Yeah, so this tiny little guy will sit on your monitor or on your desk or wherever you need to. Here's your USB-C. You got a threaded little spot here on the bottom to install your stand. Let's do that. So here's your stand. So this is actually made out of metal. It's got some weight, so it's going to counterbalance at least somewhat for you. Okay, all right. So you just screw this right into the bottom. Let's do that real quick. Okay, just a little quick edit, no big deal. So you didn't have to watch me do that. Screw this into the base. It's got a nice little tab here that you can just grab and turn. Make sure the EMEET is facing the front. This is where you're going to hook it onto your monitor or whatever else, and that way you know that this is going to get the full coverage that it should get without any issues. You can see it moves very freely. It's very, very smooth, as well as the actual camera will rotate up and down very, very smoothly. Then yeah, here's your base. So you have little rubber pads here. So this goes here, here, and then this is metal. And then we have another rubber pad here that loops around onto the back side for when you put it down. And it's not gonna really move too easily. I mean, obviously, if you push it, it's gonna slide. But it's not gonna slide, with the lightest breeze. But you can actually open this up, and there you go. You can hang this onto your monitor or wherever you need to do it. That's the unboxing. Quick, easy, simple. And this little unit is gonna go get plugged in now. So quick, easy, simple unboxing. Not a lot to unpack there. I am still very impressed with how small this camera is. They did a great job at putting a lot of tech into such a small package. And I think you're going to be really impressed with this camera because not only can you use it in a stationary setting like I am using it right now, but if you were to get up and move around, you can actually set it to track you. So I'm going to show that off. Things are a little bit more awkward here because I am using a different computer. So there's going to be a little bit more cuts in the video, but I want to show you the auto tracking. So 1 second, we'll be back. Okay, so right now we are in standard mode. So we're going to take a second and we're going to switch over to tracking mode. So that's going to change from staying stationary and now it's going to follow me around. So if I'm to move, it's going to follow my face. It's pretty quick. And right now we are pretty close. We're probably about 2.5 feet away from the camera. So if you're in an environment where you're up and you're moving around, say a kitchen, if you're doing any type of content like that, this would be great. It's going to follow you around the kitchen. The amount of movement you have on this is incredible. It will spin pretty much all the way around. So you set this up in a good location, in a kitchen or an open setting, it's going to follow you around, and then you can do any type of content like that, or meetings. If you're someone who gets up and you like to walk and talk, it's going to follow you around. So awesome. It does a great job. They also have what they call blink focus, which is 0.2 seconds for autofocus. So anytime it comes out of focus, it'll take about roughly 2.2 seconds to focus back in on what matters, you. But this is the autofocus. So if I move over here, it's following me. It's pretty responsive. It's pretty good. Again, we're about 2.5 back here. I'm about a little bit 3-ish feet away from the camera to give you an idea how tight that shot is. The further away I go, the better and more responsive it's going to be because it's going to have more range around my body, so it'll keep me in frame better. But there it is. We can go over the Emit Studio app, which is what you're going to be using if you pick up this camera. It has a ton of features, but we'll get into that in a moment. Okay, so we talked about the focus, we talked about the AI tracking, and now what I want to do is I want to switch from this microphone, and we're going to use the built-in microphone. It has 3, not 1, not 2, 3 different microphones that are built in for noise canceling. So we're going to take a look and see what that sounds like instead of using a microphone that's nice and close to me, just so you can get an idea of maybe you don't have a setup like myself where you can use a microphone, whether it be a lapel mic like this or a more stationary XLR or USB microphone that's plugged into your computer or device. So let's switch over to that and we'll get an idea of what the microphones sound like using the Pixy. Okay, now we are not using this microphone. It is not in service, right? This is not the microphone we're using. Otherwise, all you would hear is audio getting messed up. So we'll put that aside. Now we are using exclusively the Pixy microphones. There's no filters. There's no noise suppression enabled or anything like that. This is raw, how it would sound without having to adjust anything in OBS or whatever recording software that you are using. That's it. So, this is what you're going to get. Not much else to say except for if you're looking for the Pixy and you want to know what the audio sounds like, this is it. Right, this is what you're getting right out of box. So I try to keep my reviews nice, clear, straightforward with no real tweaks or anything like that. So everyone knows exactly what you're getting without having to adjust anything. And if you are really good at audio or video, then you can take it from there. But this is raw settings, as it would be coming out of the box, to give you a true idea of the EMEET PIXY as it was built, as it was designed. I forgot to mention when we were talking about the tracking is you can actually use gestures to switch from standard mode, which we're back into right now. That's why you'll see the video kind of all in different areas. I have to keep adjusting it from standard mode to AI tracking. Right now it's standard. Nope. Now we're tracking. It's a little bit higher. I think it's just because I'm too close. There we go. Yeah, as I back up, it tends to want to track me a little bit better. But the initial startup, it's a little bit higher than I would like it to be. And that could be something I could potentially tune in studio. I'm not entirely sure, so don't quote me on that.
Oh, see, we're going up a little bit, but that's okay. Let's readjust this. 1 second. Okay, so back to standard mode. Sorry about that. We're all over the place. I guess outside of checking out the microphone, which we're still using right now, we haven't swapped back, and the clarity. You can see all my messed up, weathered old man skin, all my pimples, everything. But you can see it's pretty clear, right? Don't use my fingerprints for any crimes or anything, okay? But that's how clear it is. Like it's nice, and the focus too is it's pretty fast. It's good. Bam, lighting, everything like that. This camera is very impressive. You can see even my nice widow's peak detail in the hair. What's left of it. That's good. And this is a webcam. This isn't a DSLR. You guys did a good job, Emit. Real good job. So we've checked out the camera quality, we've checked out the tracking, we've checked out the microphone quality. The only thing we haven't really shown off is Emit Studio, which is going to be essential for getting the most out of your Pixie. This is going to control your adjustments to move the camera around. You can change filters. It also has AI script writing built into the studio. I haven't used that yet, but that sounds pretty cool. So let's go take a look at the Emit Studio. And here is the Emit Studio app. This is going to be your bread and butter for getting your Pixie up and running and to be able to adjust any settings you might have to adjust. So we're just going to quickly go through it and show it off a little bit so you guys can see the type of control that they throw in for free. There's no fees to get any of this Studio app. Everything is included, so you can make your adjustments and do what you need to do. So we're going to start out on the control page, which is right here, or control tab. Right here, the first three settings you're going to find are to have your standard, tracking, and privacy mode. Standard is what we're using right now. The tracking you can use with your hand gestures, like we showed earlier, but you can also do it manually here. Privacy mode turns the camera down, shuts it off. That way you have privacy. Here you can make your adjustments. So if you hit, up, down, left, right, it's going to move the camera in small little increments around the screen, or you can use this kind of like little joystick type thing here and move it around as well. You can set your initial position, 1, 2, and 3. You can do a zoom if you wanted to do that as well. You could zoom in and out. For audio mode, this is for the microphone. You can actually go from live mode, which is what we've been doing all the recordings on so far. Here's your noise canceling mode. So if you have a little bit more noise going on, you can turn this on and it will focus more on the speaker versus whatever else is going on. And then you can have original sound mode. So here's your 3 different settings. We just went through them as I was talking. So if you listen closely, you may hear a difference in the 3 of them. But as you can hear now, it's working pretty well. And I'm about, I'd say about 2-ish feet from the camera, give or take, just to give you an idea. Down here on the bottom, before we leave here, so we're actually set to 4K 30. So this is what we've been recording everything in. You can see the clarity here itself. You can see all my wrinkles. 40 years, 40 years of wrinkles all set up. But yeah, you can see just how textured it is, how clear it is. Awesome. Or we can go down to, 2K 30. It's not going to be that much of a difference. And then we can go, if you want a little bit more juice, a little bit more refresh faster, you can use the 60 frames. That way it's a little bit more responsive. But those are your 3, or I showed you 3 settings, but you can go all the way down to 720, 30 if you want. You can flip it, and you can flip it again. All the standard settings. Under there, you got your filters. It's as easy as just clicking them. We can actually tweak these a little bit more in the effects page. So we'll go there. Here's your effects. You can actually turn on the low light enhance. We don't really have low lighting in here, but there it is. And then here, these settings are the same as these ones. But you can go in there and you can actually tweak these as well if you wanted to. if that's something you wanted to do. Okay, which to show you, you just click on customize. There you go. In case you're like, wait a minute, they're all grayed out. No, you're good. Click on customize. You can change them. Last thing is assistance, and this is for your focusing. So you can actually set up an area to focus. You can just click and drag this box around, and you can get it to focus on a different area. You can do center focus, or you can focus on someone's face. You can change it auto, lock it, change your focus, far, near, blah, blah, blah. And then you have your privacy mode. You can automatically set it to go into privacy mode after a certain amount of time. I don't know too many settings where that would happen. Cat's food just went off as I was recording. So back to the focus. You can actually change it to focus or lock. And then if you change it to lock, you can drag it up and down if that's what you need to do. Or we can just change it back to autofocus. Privacy mode, we can set that up if you want to go into privacy mode after a certain amount of time. And then you can turn the gesture controls on and off. So if you're a hand talker like myself, you might be triggering this and it will mess things up. That is pretty much it as far as the Pixy goes. But here's the script generation that we talked about earlier. So I clicked on food sharing just to load it in because it does take a little bit. But you can actually give it a script or a prompt, I should say, and then it can generate, cam position, shot scale, operation, screen, narration, dialogue. It gives you a bunch of stuff, and it's free. You don't have to pay for a subscription for this. It's free. Pretty cool. So again, Emeet with your studio app. Good job, guys. It's awesome. Everything's good. And that, folks, is Emit Studio. And that wraps up our Emeet Pixy review. Thank you so much for watching. If you found it helpful, please feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and I will make sure to keep these reviews coming. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.